Life is a journey,
not a destination.
And you don't need to go it alone.
Join me for practical tips and strategies on using mindfulness techniques and creating mindset shifts that can reduce stress, improve productivity, and give you a fresh perspective on work and life.
This is a Candy Factory Mini.
Mastering the Mindful Mindset
with Jose Johnson.
Hi, and welcome to this episode of Mastering the Mindful Mindset. I'm your host, Jose Johnson. Today, we're going to talk about ways to put the happy back in your holidays. But first, let's set the stage properly by doing a little reset. If you've watched previous episodes, you will hopefully remember this exercise. If you haven't watched it yet, don't worry. You can easily follow along. Just make sure you go back to episode 1 later and watch it so you can catch all of the details. So either sitting or standing, I want you to put one hand below your belly button and one hand in the small of your back. Imagine your abdomen's like a big balloon, and we're just going to take a nice deep breath in, filling the belly. So a deep breath in and a slow breath out. And again, a deep breath in and a slow breath out. And again, deep breath in. And exhaling, letting it go. And one more deep breath in. And out. All right. Hopefully that little reset has allowed you to clear your mind and get you in the right state of mind for our time together today. Hey, it's holiday season. And regardless of your religious beliefs, the holiday season often inspires feelings of warmth, joy, and belonging. But for some people, the period between Thanksgiving and New Year's Day can also create feelings of loneliness, stress, and anxiety. According to a survey by the American Psychological Association, most people experience an increase of happiness, love, and general high spirits over the holidays. But for many, those positive feelings were also accompanied by feelings of fatigue, stress, irritability, and sadness. In fact, 38% of people surveyed said their stress levels actually increase during the holiday seasons. And this results in something that we often refer to as the holiday blues. So, what are some of the symptoms of the holiday blues? The most common symptom is depression. If you typically suffer from depression, you might feel a dramatic increase in those feelings during the holidays. But even people who are generally not depressed begin to exhibit symptoms of depression during this time of year. Other symptoms of the blues include feeling more tired than usual, loss of interest in things that used to bring you joy, trouble concentrating, mood swings, anxiety, overeating, excessive drinking, and insomnia. Now, these are just the classic symptoms. These are the things that we would expect to experience in ourselves or to see in others during a typical holiday season. But this holiday season is anything but typical. When you begin to stack the unwanted physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial impact that the holiday seasons traditionally brings, on top of the massive trauma that we're still dealing with as a result of this ongoing pandemic, it's easy to see how this year for many people, the holiday blues could be the proverbial straw that breaks the reindeer's back. So now that we have identified the symptoms, let's look at some of the causes and how we can hopefully avoid them. The first is lack of time. One of the reasons that people give for their stressed out state during the holidays is that they feel like they have too much to do and not enough time to do it in. You still have all of the normal demands on your time, but now there are all of the extra things that require your time and energy during the holiday season. Decorating, shopping, and in a typical year, things like holiday parties and travel. Well, like I said, this ain't no typical year, but we'll get to that in a moment. Another reason is financial pressure. I'm not exactly sure when it happened, but commercialism has changed the emphasis from ringing the holiday bells to ringing up holiday sales. In the world of retail, the holiday season generally determines the success of your entire year. In fact, statistics show that $1.1 trillion was spent during the 2019 holiday season. And here's some other interesting stats. In 2018, the average American household spent $1,536 on the holidays, except for the people that started shopping early. Those that started shopping before the end of October, they averaged spending 28% more than those who waited. And so much of this is driven by a societal pressure that we feel to give gifts. Holiday gift giving has gone the same route as tipping. It's gone from a gratuity to an expectation. And once again, in an average year, that type of spending can be stressful enough. But when you pile that on top of the financial uncertainty that we are all currently facing, we experience compounding of our stress and anxiety. Now, while those were the two biggest reasons that people gave, they're not the root cause. The deeper underlying cause is found in our expectations, the expectations that we put on ourselves or those that we allow others to impose on us. And what happens when our experiences don't meet our expectations? Well, we feel upset, angry, or depressed. We begin to lose faith in ourselves and in the things greater than us. And in this case, we suck the happy right out of the holidays. But remember, while you don't always have control over the situation, you do have the ability to control your actions and decisions. And that's why it is so important that you learn how to master your mindful mindset. So how can we apply mindfulness techniques and shift our mindset during this holiday season? Well, let's start with the most basic one. Practice gratitude. When we're in a state of gratitude, our brain begins to produce serotonin and dopamine, which lifts our mood. Practicing gratitude is like taking Prozac, but you don't need a prescription and there are no nasty side effects. The holiday season should be about celebrating all that we have to be thankful for, all the good that's in our lives. But because of our brain's negativity bias, we tend to get stuck focusing on all that we don't have or all the things that we don't want. So the simplest way to practice gratitude is to use a gratitude journal. Spend time every day writing down the things that you're grateful for. I typically suggest using a technique I call bookending, which is to start and end your day with the same practice. Take a few minutes first thing in the morning to write down the things that you're grateful for, because this helps to set the tone for your day. And then make this the last thing you do at night. This will help you to relax and sleep better. Now, another way you can do this is to create gratitude cards. I like to use index cards. So what you do is you write down on individual cards all of the things that you're grateful for, things like your health, your job, your family, your friends. One thing on one card. Then you keep your stack of cards handy, like next to your computer, particularly if you feel a lot of work-related stress. Then whenever you find your mood slipping, pull out a card or two, remind yourself of the things that you have going for you. Try to spend a minute or two really thinking about what's on the card. Allow yourself to feel the gratitude. And if you want to learn more about the power of gratitude, make sure you go back to episode 7, which is all about gratitude. Embracing the change. I don't know why people are so resistant to change. Well, actually, I do know. It's part of the way our brains are wired. We use things like habits and patterns to help us make sense of things. But the truth is, things are in a constant state of change. And concepts like normality are just an illusion. They're constructs that we have created. Now, I'm not saying that chaos rules. Chaos isn't caused by change. It's caused when we don't learn how to effectively manage change. So in this particular holiday season, our ability to have change work for us to successfully navigate the currents of change will make the difference between having a happy or horrendous holiday. So what are some of the things that are changing and how can we make the best of that change? Well, let's start with the elephant in the room. Health officials are warning us to avoid travel and large gathering during the remainder of the holiday season. We're currently experiencing a spike in COVID-19 infections that was directly impacted by Thanksgiving travel and celebrations. Now, I get it. We're social creatures, and the holidays are traditionally a time for gathering. But right now, that's not the safest or wisest thing to do. Now, I can hear you say, but it's not the holidays if we don't fill in the blank. Well, I hate to break it to you. That's not quite true. Sure, we all have traditions. Some of them we love, and some of them we have no idea why we're doing them. Because if you're completely honest with yourself, I'm sure that every year there is some aspect of your typical holiday routine that makes you go, I wish we didn't have to do that. And guess what? You don't. If there is one thing that the new normal has taught us, it's that it's possible to do everything from meetings to happy hours virtually. So while you can't make the traditional journey to Aunt Mildred's in Podunk, you can still connect, and you can actually increase the circle of people in your celebrations. Invite friends and family members who would not typically be able to get together in person to join your virtual celebration. And if you want to make things really interesting, ask everyone you invite to invite a group of their family and friends to join in. And with some video conferencing apps, you can actually have hundreds of people join in and even have little private breakout rooms for people to have conversations in. The best part is there's no mess to clean up at the end. Another way to embrace the change is to create new traditions. Now, that may seem sacrilegious to some, but keep this in mind. Every tradition was created by someone. And at some point, it was a new idea, a suggestion to do things differently. And the odds are that decision was made by someone other than you and without your input. So create new holiday traditions. Become creative. And if you have children, get them involved in the process because they are the ones that will take on the responsibility of passing that tradition down. So shouldn't they have a little say in what it is? And finally, get back to the basics. Take time to consider what the holiday season is really all about. Not how you celebrate them, but why you celebrate them. What's the true spirit of the holiday? Is it a time of Thanksgiving? Well, then make sure that the focal point of your celebration is on the gratitude and not the gravy. Is it about the giving? Well, keep in mind the old saying about gift giving. It's the thought that counts. A great gift is one that brings joy to someone's life, and you don't need to spend a dime to give people the gift of your time, your attention, your gratitude, and your love. When it comes to managing your expectations, the holiday provides two great examples for you. First, if there's a specific gift you want, you need to ask for it. So make sure that you let your needs and desires in life be known to the higher powers that bring things into existence. And second, just because you don't get exactly what you ask for doesn't mean that you can't enjoy what you received. Well, unlike a holiday gift, you can't return your circumstances, but you can always find a way to turn them into something useful. So thanks for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed our time together and that you have some new ideas on how you can put the happy back in your holidays. If you have a question or a topic you'd like me to cover in a future episode, just drop it in the comment section and I'll always do my best to help you out. Make sure you subscribe and share this episode with someone that you feel could benefit from this information. And please take the time to check out all of the other programming brought to you on the Candy Factory Collective. So until next time, remember, it is what it is, but it becomes what you make it. So make it great. Mastering the Mindful Mindset is part of the Candy Factory mini-series and is a proud member of the Candy Factory Collective. You can find the show streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, LinkedIn, and you can subscribe to the audio version anywhere you get your podcast.
Jose Johnson has traveled the world competing and teaching martial arts.
He's an entrepreneur, musician, author, and speaker.
Check out Jose's other podcast,
The Trumpet Gurus Hang.
And learn more about his book,
Mindfulness Secrets, at his website,
josejohnson.com.
Mastering the Mindful Mindset is produced by the Candy Factory Collective.
at the Candy Factory Co-working Campus in Lancaster, PA.
Our music was written and recorded by Jose. Production support by Anna Tran.
Administrative support by Ann Kirby, Ariana Henderson.
Krisha Martzel, Jason Mundock, and Robert Diggs.
Notes and links can be found at the show post at our website,
CandyFactoryCollective.com.
Candy Factory.
Collective.